Okay, so I'm sorry that this took me a while, but I had to make sure that the settings were right in game as well as in the firing range because they felt real OP in the firing range. So we're gonna go over this. This is what I have right now for the Armor X Pro. So we're gonna go in here. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna look at the Armor X Pro settings. Once you have these settings set, uh don't change these settings. Don't touch them after you have these settings right here. I know that these settings are not going to look like the old settings, but that's because I ran it through and I ran it through and these are the top notch best settings so far. Okay, we're going to start with the sensor sensitivity. That's on 1. We're going to go to the sensor horizontal vertical ratio. That's on 1.0. 1.0 means that it's however the horizontal vertical is set up in game, however you set it up in game, that's how it's going to be. Do not change this. I made a huge mistake. I slid this slider all the way one way, and then I slid this slider all the way the other way, and turns out leaving it on 1.0, which will be the setting that's in the game, is the best thing for this. Don't change that. Okay. So then we go down to the response curve. I put that back on 100. 100, as you can see, it's a straight line. It's just how it plays out inside the game. So the sensor horizontal vertical ratio, leave it 1.0 the way it plays out in game. Your response curve, leave it at 100 the way it plays out inside the game. Okay, moving right along. Dead zone compensation, I got on 68. The reason why I have it on 68, you're going to find out later, and we'll discuss that when I get to that. But the dead zone compensation is on 68. Everybody knows the motion control switch display. I have mine on global switch, and I have it on my right stick. You could also change that if you want to, but I don't suggest. I'm giving you the settings that feel like this really crazy and OP right now. So don't change these. Set that up just like that. We're going to move to sticks now. This is where things got complicated and tricky and where I had to do a lot of work. So we're going to go over these, and I'm going to try not to make the mistake to touch the damn grid. All right, so this is the left stick. Left stick dead zone on 0. You want it on 0. You don't want no dead zone on your stick. You want all the responsiveness that the stick going to give you. Okay, moving right up. Look at the value numbers. Those value numbers down there, 20, 55, 40, 100. Put the values in. Put it exactly where this is and put the value in. And trust me, you're gonna like what you see out of this. Do not touch the axis reversal thing. You don't want to touch that at all. And I'm being real careful this time because I don't want to change anything. That's how good these settings are. Right stick dead zone, 0. No dead zone on your stick. Moving right up. Guess what I found? This is 20, 55, 37, 100 on the right stick. This is on the right stick. And these are the values that you want, and that's how you want your graph to look. Alright, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go straight to triggers. Trigger dead zone. I got left trigger dead zone set to 2. We all know why. I got myopathy disabled, so it takes me a minute to set up and get on target. Right trigger dead zone is on 1. The reason why that's on 1 is because if you put it on 0, it's going to continuously click that button. So you have to have, it has to have some value. And the lowest value that it could have is 1. Hair triggers on both triggers. Everybody know that hair trigger is key. Key maps. We can go over this again real fast. Turbo. Basically, my left trigger and my right trigger I have underneath the pad. Those are the my extra mappable buttons that I put on those is the trigger, just in case if I'm having a muscle spasm, having a bad day with my hands and everything. I don't have to pull the trigger with my finger. I can just mash the button underneath. So that's personal preference for me. And that's it for in here. After you have these settings, you can leave this. You can leave this right here and come out of this. Make sure you save everything. And you're going to leave out of here. That's done. Once you have that, that's done. Now, we're going to go in here. And as you can see, this is for this season right now. This is the day I'm doing this right now. I had to pre-record this part in order to make it all into one video. So hopefully everybody can see, and if you need to pause what you need to pause, but hopefully everybody can see what these settings are. All right, moving right along. This is the meat and potatoes right here. Now, remember, I said that we're going to go over a few things in here. All this stuff right here is preference. If anybody tells you anything about anything of any of the other stuff is preference. If you want your thing on stacking or whatever, that's on you. Okay, so moving right along. The dead zone, you have the outer threshold, you have the response curve. These are the values. Set these values. The yaw speed and pitch speed, those are the values for 5 classic. The only difference is right there, that 12%. That 12% ramp up. I had to put that on there so to smooth it out a little bit. It's still kind of choppy. It's not perfect, but I put that on there so to smooth it out a little bit. And right here, I'm going to move down. All right, so basically I'm showing you that these are the same settings for 5.3 Classic. So the same Armor X Pro settings that you have, you don't have to touch those no more. These settings work for 5.3 Classic, and they work for those ALCs that I just showed you. And you don't have to touch anything. If you run, it also work on 4.3, but 4.3 and 5.3 I found to work the best. Also, it has you can do 6.4 Classic, and the same thing. It'll just move a little faster, a little better. And I have been having a whole lot of success with this so far. This is.
Your banner will never look as good as mine. You have 30,000 kills and no 4K? You're trash,
Donald, I can't even hear you. Your console mic is just terrible. Use Discord like a normal
Don't
person.
care and didn't ask.
Donald.
I'm busy bagging your box.
I got hit 100 in the back. That's the only reason you won.
You were camping top landslide.
Okay.
That's what happens when you camp, Joe.
You've been 3 stacking pubs for 4 years, Donald.
Fake news.
Play no fill like a real man.
Listen here, Joe. A negative KD and dying in fragment every game doesn't make you a real man.
Whatever, bozo.
Now, also that right there, Nicholas the Dimes, that's my Instagram. So, but the only thing about my Instagram, it's the same as my Xbox. I don't accept a lot of friend requests or anything like that. But if you watch this video and you watch my channel and everything, the only thing I ask is that if you do send me a friend request, let me know. Okay, look, I follow you on YouTube, something to the effect, so I could know, okay, I will accept your friend request, and I will accept your friend request, like I said. And that's the only thing that I ask, is that somebody let me know. I've got 6 friends on Xbox, and I don't really I don't really accept a lot of requests and stuff on Instagram, but it's a lot more footage and a lot more stuff on Instagram that I have. And on my Instagram, you could even go back further in time if you want to see how horrible I sucked at the game or whatever, anything like that. All that stuff is on my Instagram. If you go all the way back through my Instagram, and I think it's some ALC settings on there too as well. Another thing, before we close this out, I want to figure this out. How could I do this? Because what there's a chart to show you the values. Like, a lot of people don't understand ALCs and don't know how to work the ALCs. Oh, let's go through this real quick. I think I've done this before, but this is real important. So macro adjustment. Okay, so you could this explains to you how you could turn off the rumble motor, the vibration. Onboard profile, it tells you what profile you're in. This tells you how to calibrate the gyroscope. So this is a real important thing. Make sure that you do this. The calibration of the gyroscope is real important, because if you don't do it, then you're going on whatever it was sent to you as. But yeah, you want to follow these instructions. Make sure you put it on a flat surface, and let the calibration of the gyroscope. That's real important. It's a lot more important than just about anything that's on here. Okay, so it says under here, mapping the buttons. It tells you how to map the buttons, the 4 back buttons, how to map those. The turbo button. This is real important as well, because it's 3 different turbo settings, and the last setting is the one that gets all your guns going. The other 2 settings will make the automatic weapons feel like burst weapons. So you don't want the other 2. You want that last. You want to follow the instructions and get to the last one. Those are real important points that I wanted to touch on. Okay, now going back down here. Where is this stupid chart at? Because I want to put this chart up here. Because if I put this chart up here, then it makes it a lot easier for. Here it is, right here. It makes it a lot easier for you. Okay, so this is how you. This is the conversion chart to take your settings to your ALCs. So this is explaining to you that whatever you run, whatever you run, as far as right now, if you're not into ALCs, whatever you're running, this conversion chart, whatever you feel comfortable in, whatever you're running, this conversion chart will show you how to set the values and start your ALCs how you want to start them. So if you run a 5-3, which is what we were just discussing, 5-3 is going to be 340, and what is that, 230 for the 5. That's the yaw pitch. Then the ADS is going to be 170. So what you do is you find out what it is, what you're running, and you use these values, and these values will put you at where you're comfortable and what you're used to in the ALCs. When you go ahead and switch over to ALCs, these are the values that you need. So go by this chart, use this chart, and you won't have any problems messing with your ALCs after you have this chart. This chart is the most important thing, because just picking somebody's ALCs is not gonna help you. You want to have the values that's gonna make your game feel comfortable. And this is the chart right here that's gonna help you get your ALCs under control. And once you have this, and once you start messing around, long as you have this chart, and you can come back to this chart and you make sure that you can put these values where you want them at, anything that you do in the ALCs is just finding out what you're comfortable with and going from there. And the ALCs is more of a fine tuning. It's it it helps you to, like, if you need a little bit more yaw, if you need a little bit more pitch, if you need a little bit more threshold, out of threshold, because some people need a little bit more out of threshold. Some people need a little bit more dead zone because they have stick drift or whatever. This right here helps you to use your ALCs and know what you're doing when you're doing it, and not just copying somebody else's ALCs and, oh, I'm gonna go with this and all this sucks. No, it's not that. This is the starting point. This is what you need for the starting point, and this is probably the most important thing that I'm putting in this video. I appreciate everybody, and I hope this helps everybody. And this is what I got so far.